In this video, I'm going to talk about why China poses the biggest threat to the American civil population. What's special about China? Why not Russia or why not Iran? You're going to find those answers and more. Let's dive in. So I want to mention the survey that was taken early 2023 that asked one simple question. What one country anywhere in the world do you consider to be the United States' greatest enemy today? Before I reveal the legend to you guys, comment down below on which country do you think represents the green line, the blue line, the dashed line, or the dotted line. Are you ready for the answers? Boom! Not surprisingly, first one is China at 50%. Second place is Russia. It really took off after 2012. And obviously, we cannot forget North Korea. That spike you see was at the time when North Korea was threatening to bomb America. Now in the last place, it's Iran at 2%. Let me tell you, this number should be a lot higher today. So why is China coming in at 50%? What's so special about China that isn't special about Russia or Iran or North Korea? What's different about China? Well, to start, China is an economical and military superpower. It's America's largest trade partner. It has multiple bases all across Africa and Asia. It controls major trade routes between land and sea. It's threatened countries like India, Taiwan, Japan, Vietnam, and South Korea. And guess what? It's friends with North Korea and Russia. Now, most of these are good things, with the exception of threatening other sovereign nations. And by the way, America has done their fair share of that as well. But other than that, China is a successful country. I mean, it's indisputable. It's in front of our eyes, both economically and militarily. In some cases, they're actually beating America. China has industrialized their whole country, going from agriculture all the way to industrialization. They manufacture everything that you use. China has managed to industrialize themselves to the point where they are now. It exports to the world and it plays a major role in supply chain management for countries and corporations around the world. Long story short, a lot of countries are dependent on China for their products. So the real question to ask here is, in the eyes of America, how did China go from being a trade partner to being an enemy on the other side of the globe? What did they do that changed the perspectives of Americans? Let's start with the government. It's a one-party communist dictatorship. That means there are no real elections between candidates. So poor Joe cannot just elect a party that aligns with his values. Poor Joe has one option. That's Xi Jinping. That's because China eliminated the two-term presidency limit, which allows Xi Jinping to be president for life. Now, the government has also committed multiple human rights violations. Some of those are population control, back when parents could only have one child. There's also reports of forced labor, torture, suppression of culture and religious practices, and mass surveillance. They recently rolled out social scorecards. Social scorecards basically give you a rating on your ethical behavior. If you're not a good ethical person, you're not going to have a good score, so good luck. Despite all these violations, they have been super successful in developing their nation's economic and military might. It's now at a point in which it can compete with America. In some cases, again, it's beating America at its own game. Now let's talk about the current economic war between America and China. So now that China and America are somewhat on the same level, they're both trying to one-up each other. And it all starts with the semiconductor chip industry. Why the chip industry? Simple answer is poor Joe relies on semiconductor chips without even knowing it. From the time Joe wakes up and from the time he sleeps, he's using multiple products that have multiple chips inside them working at all times. Long story short, they're very, very important in the new world. Now, America being America, they don't want something that's this important to be dominantly made in China. And for that reason, it cut off shipments to China of more advanced chips made by companies like NVIDIA. On top of that, it's put on multiple sanctions and multiple tariffs on Chinese products and Chinese chip making industries so that they're disadvantaged. Same goes for China. They're doing the same thing to the American companies. More on sanctions and tariffs between both America and China. There's a lot of back and forth between these two countries. However, one thing that we do know is that both countries have their own way of running things. In the end, it comes down to being good trade partners and sharing developments with one another. If you found this video helpful, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.